Hello, good evening and welcome to our new edition of RTD's English News. Tonight as headlines we have the holding of the 28th session of a Council of Ministers, Guinea declared free from Ebola after 2,500 deaths.
Those were the top stories. Welcome to our newsroom. Before starting the details of our news, we would like to inform you that you will follow the second part of the Fruit Party special edition right after our English news. Under the leadership of the Head of State, His Excellency Ismail Mergele, the 28th session of the Council of Ministers has been held this morning at the Presidential Palace. Several bills have been approved during this session. Let's listen for more details to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf.
The Council of Ministers has carried out its session by the adoption of a draft law which has for objective the ratification of a loan agreement for an amount of 2.8 billion Djibouti franc between the Republic of Djibouti and the African Development Fund. This agreement is intended to finance the program of resilience to the drop of rural communities in the target areas in order to ensure a good food security, access to water, and the desertification of productive activities. The main objective of the program is to mobilize water resources in order to fight against dryness and desertification. And then the second question concerned the bill on the ratification of a loan agreement for an amount of approximately 2 billion Djibouti franc between the Republic of Djibouti and the African Development Fund. This agreement is intended to the achievement of a social economic infrastructure and to the promotion of economic activities in the region. The objective of this project is to improve the living condition of the 5 region inhabitants through the access to basic infrastructure while promoting the inclusion and gender equality. For the Minister of Interior, the Council of Ministers has adopted a draft law which has for objective the amendment of a certain provision of Act number 46 concerning the status and organization of National Police General Director and creation of a Health and Social Service Director. This direction's mission will be to structure the health system and allow greater medical coverage for any police officials. It will be also in charge to implement the construction of a future hospital complex owned by the police. The second part of this council have based on the estimated budget of several institutions for the 2016. Let's hear it from the government spokesman. Concerning the Ministry of Equipment and Transport, a draft order which has for objective the composition of the Civil Aviation Authority's member has been examined by the Council in accordance with the provision of the Decree number 272 in 2015 on the organization and functioning of the Civil Aviation Authority. The 5 issues was based on the estimated budget of the National Agency for the Meteorology for the year of 2016 fiscal that is fixed in the product and expenditure to 228 million Djibouti franc. This budget seeks the pursuit of the objective and missions assigned to it, including the strengthening of the rainfall national network, the creation of the water station, and the acquisition of the technical means and the implementation of the platform for the exchange of climate data. As for the Ministry of the Economic and of Finance in charge of the industry, the estimated budget of the year of 2016 for the Djibouti Office of Industrial and Commercial Properties has been adopted in the product to more than 308 million Djibouti franc. The estimated revenue of the ODPCA are increasing mainly due to the improvement of commercial activities and in the matter of registration in the Register of Commerce and Industrial Property. In 2016, the agency intends to implement the objective aim at improving the business climate through the facilitation in the process of company creation and training of entrepreneurs. The seventh question relating to the estimated budget of the National Office of Tourism for the fiscal year of 2016 that is present in the product to more than 205 million Djibouti francs. This budget seeks to implement the strategy displayed to strengthen the attractiveness of our country and the improvement of Djibouti's image and visibility. In 2016, the agency plans to continue to support the development of tourism on the whole in the country. As well, it is programmed in 2016 to achieve important projects for the sustainable development of tourism in our country, including the continuation of Djibouti destination promotion, the development and enhancement of a network of trails in small hike, as well as the training of young people in the trade of tourism. The 8 issues has based on the estimated budget of the 2016 exercise for the Economic Development Fund of Djibouti, which is adopted in product to more than 424 million Djibouti francs. This budget is developed in the framework of pursuing the objective assigned, including support by the financial and technical means for the development of the private sector. In 2016, the action of the fund will be concerned around the strategic axis to know the search for an increase of internal and external research, the support to the promoters of a project, the strengthening of management capacity, as well as the search for new research. In 2016, the fund providing for the financing of 340 projects is particular in primary sector, service, tourism, and transport. For the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, the budget of the Center for Research, Information and Production of National Education for the fiscal year of 2016 is fixed in charge and product to nearly 349 million Djibouti francs. The budget is prepared in a framework of increasing the activities, including the reform of the education. As well, it is programmed in 2016 the design of 2 manuals of geography for secondary classes, philosophy for baccalaureate classes, the development of crucial the general secondary education, the development of a table in all schools for the first grade student, and the achievement of educational audiovisual documents. The 10 questions concern the Department of Higher Education and Research. The estimated budget of the year 2016 of the Higher Institute of the Health Sciences adopted in the product and expenditure to more than 352 million Djibouti francs. This budget of the Institute aims to pursue the objective, namely the implementation of the new diplomas, the strengthening of the Department of Education and Research of implementation, the pedagogical tools. The Institute intends to introduce in 2016 the specialized course to meet the need of a sectorial department in order to improve the benefit for basic health care service. The Council of Ministers has continued this section by adopting for the Ministry of Muslim Affairs and Culture the estimated budget for the fiscal year of 2016 of the Office of Corrupt and Neighboring Rights, which is fixed in product and expansion to nearly 96 million Djibouti francs. This budget, the first of its kind, plans to achieve the objective, namely the awareness of the population on the copyrights, the acquisition of the necessary equipment, and strengthening staff to ensure its mission, which is the promotion and the protection of the copyrights. Then, they have examined the budget estimate for the fiscal year of 2016 of the Diwan of Waqf goods, which is adopted in product to nearly 447 million Djibouti franc. The estimated revenues of Diwan are increasing mainly due to the rise of commercial incomes and the new icons of a new wireless commercial center. This budget provides to achieve the objectives such as to improve the management and supervision of the Islamic Waqf heritage, to increase its revenue by profitable investment project economic, and broaden to scope this action. Thereafter, they have approved the estimate budget for the fiscal year of 2016 and a Diwan al-Zakat, which is fixed in product to nearly 76 million francs. The estimate revenue came mainly from the product of Zakat. The Diwan of Zakat is a public institution whose mission is to fight against poverty and the social inclusion and collection management and distribution of the Zakat income to right holders, as well as the management of the orphans sponsorship program concerning the Ministry of Communication in charge of post and telecommunication. The estimate budget of Djibouti Telecom to the exercise of 2016 is adopted in product more than 22 million Djibouti francs and release an extraordinary result for more than 3.7 billion Djibouti francs. As the international level and regional level, the company continues its growth and expansion of confirms its position of interconnection hub, in particular by the commission of new submarine cables. This budget introduces a measure of improvement, and it is to allow this corporation to become a regional leader. The planned project are the strategic reorganization of the sector of telecommunication and information technology, the creation of a nursery aimed to create a state of startups in this sector, and the support of the Ireland Smart City project. Finally, the estimated budget of Djibouti Post for the exercise of 2016 has been adopted in the product and expanded to nearly 484 million Djibouti francs. This budget, known as an increase of 4% compared to the previous year, aims the continuation of strategic priorities, including the acceleration of modernizing the post, the revitalization of the hospital sector, and the development of the management by the achievement of a sufficient profitability thanks to the acquisition of a management platform of financial and product postal.
The President of the Assembly, Mr. Mohammed Ali Hamed, has received this morning the Ethiopian ambassador in Djibouti, Mr. Suleiman Dedefo, for a farewell visit. The meeting took place in the National Assembly and the discussion were held on the work accomplished by the Ethiopian ambassador in the strengthening of the cooperation between the two countries, who have become a model of integration for the rest of African countries. The two parliaments also raised strengthening cooperation between Djibouti and Ethiopia. The two countries will travel together in a new train, which is at the final stage. Ambassador Suleiman Dedefo thanked the President of the Assembly, Mr. Mohammed Ali Hamed, for his constant support during its mission in Djibouti.
The President of the Port Authorities in Free Zone, Mr. Abubakar Umar Hadi, is informing the freight forwarders the rules and working conditions to respect, and which will enable them to properly exercise their activities. The rules shall specify, in particular, freight forwarders must be Djiboutian. They must have a deposit of 15 million francs in the national treasury. They must fulfill a patent. They must honor the contribution of their personnel with the CNSS, and must have a headquarters in Djibouti, providing their presence with the electronic address and telephone. If these required conditions are not respected, the risk of licenses withdrawal and the regulation will be taken off with the forces. Mr. Abu Bakr Umar Hadi has thus invited the freight forwarders to fulfill these criteria in order to continue their activities. Mr. Abu Bakr Umar Hadi has also invited that a new tariff grid has been put in place concerning all logistic operation of loading and unloading, containers transfer and transplanting, transfer of containers in the port of Djibouti to the port of Dorale, customs clearance operation of the lease of equipment. This new tariff grid will still allow the freight forwarders to force in their costs and make profit.
The ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti in Doha, Momin Hassan Barre, met yesterday the Deputy Prime Minister of the Council of Ministers of State Affairs, Mr. Ahmed bin Abdullah Al Mahmoud. During this meeting, the discussions were focused on the bilateral relations between the Republic of Djibouti and Qatar, as well as on the ways and means to strengthen them. For this occasion, the ambassador has addressed with his interlocutor the bilateral relations qualified as excellent, while putting the emphasis on the need to further develop. He has added in addition that the Republic of Djibouti is an Arab state located in a tormented region and plays an important role in the security of the Red Sea, as well as that of the Bab el-Mandeb in fighting against the piracy and terrorism. It is, he said, the only stable country in the region which houses many centers of refugees. As for the Vice Prime Minister of Qatar, has reiterated to the Republic of Djibouti the support of State of Qatar in the face of humanitarian crisis and the consequences of the war in Yemen, causing a flow of refugees. He has indicated that the government of Qatar welcomes and congratulates the Republic of Djibouti for the solidarity shown in favor of refugees and for its policy of stability and peace.
The Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, Badul Hassan Badul, along with the Dikhil Prefect, Mr. Mohammed Sheikho, the Regional Council President, Mr. Abdurrahman Yunis Arre, the Colonel of the Dikhil Camp, have conducted this morning the identification of the site where the Ab'a walk will take place. This first edition will be held this Friday, January the 1st, 2016, and the main purpose is to promote the values of peace and national unity through sport. Headstones will therefore be placed on the site that housed the peace agreement negotiations. The delegation led by the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport has not only established the site assessment but also discussed about the technical and logistical aspect to implement this first edition so it can be a success. The Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, Mr. Badul Hassan Badul, has during his intervention stressed that the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Margele, has been a key player in the implementation of this peace agreement. He has militated constantly to promote peace for his country.
The Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, through the Center for the Training of Teachers of the Fundamental Teaching, has launched its continuous training platform for the school year 2015-2016. These ongoing training courses will held in Sefev, but also in the Kripan Lake and Middle and Secondary Education Inspection of the Palmyra. They are based on the practices of classes, the formation of didactic practices in physical education, training on the skills of teachers in Arabic, or the analytic reading for the inspection of French. For the league, the Inspector of Mathematics addressed the presentation of programs of the manual for the final exam class and the use of CTBT at the college, for which the teachers of vocational training, the program of BEV and Pro Baccalaureate have been discussed to update the information for new teachers. Finally, at the Kripan, the teachers of economics and management have worked on the finalization of the documents to support the program for the management organization specialties, initiation to the agency accounting and financial management.
The Ministry of National Education and Professional Training is continuing the restoration of the school's furniture of the primary and secondary school in the capital, with more than 3,000 tablets and benches for primary and secondary education institution at the beginning of the school year. This operation responds to be grievances and the head of the institution during the meeting of the school with the minister to enhance the working condition of this institution, since the MENFOB has taken all the necessary measures and the minister promised to ensure to put in function all the damaged tablets, chairs and benches which is located in the institution. The team who carry out the supervision of these repairing works, as well as the head of the institution, said they are very pleased to see the well functioning of these operations.
In our regions, a Diwan al-Zakah distribution ceremony for the orphans has been held yesterday morning in Diqil, a Rahma Center. The Diwan al-Zakah Foundation has proceeded to the distribution to more than 76 orphan children the sum of 15,000 francs each. The director of the Diwan al-Zakah Foundation, the assistant of the prefect of the regional, Mr. Fuad Abakar, as well as the responsible of the Markaz al-Rahma and parents of students were present during the ceremony. The Association of Djibouti in Belgium, ABED, has granted yesterday morning to the Library of Ali Sabih a large batch of book donation. In total, 1,500 books have been delivered to the Library of Aski City. The president of the library, Filsin Abdullahi Miguel, has received the lots of books by the hand of the ABED representative Ahmed Mohammedini. The ceremony has been held in the presence of the deputy prefect, Mr. Muhammad Hamad Abbas, the president of the regional council, as well as the members of the association. The president of the library, Filsin Abdullahi Miguel, has warmly thanked the ABED for this gesture that meets the needs of books in the library. The Association of ABED is an association for the promotion of intercultural relations between Belgium and the Republic of Djibouti, as well as assisting the development of the country to support its on-site partners.
The CNSCD president has signed a partnership agreement with the local decentralization, that is, authorities of Abdurrahman Are, the Dikhil Region Council Chairman, and Umar Ahmed Wa'ais. This close relationship always has result of this ambition, both shouted by the president of the CNSCD, who promised always to be able to attend the emergency of a civil society in the Djibouti, strong, dynamic, efficient and organized. Our priority now become the sole concern of the daily life of the CNSCD, particularly under the leadership of its president, all the more that the order and the dynamism of the young team is the key of success. In addition, the president of the Assembly of Young Men and Women, all from the associative environment and more numerous to accede to the vision of a CNCD, the decentrate of a positive figure of the OCS in Djibouti, although the young national coordinator, Mr. Abdul Qadir Ahmed.
The Bilbila SOS e-learning center has organized yesterday morning a ceremony for handing over certificates to the first promotion of young people who have completed training in the center. Training center SOS is built and managed by the international NGO SOS Children Village under the supervision of the Ministry for the Advancement of Women and the Family Planning. Let's recall that the center was inaugurated in October 2014 by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margele, and welcomes today around 200 young school dropouts who are training in English, French, and in computer science. First time in Djibouti, the e-learning center offers training based entirely on digital, where young people learn through the computer tools. Under the terms of the first cycle of training, which lasted 7 months, young people have had a first assessment of performance, and the winners receive certificates of completion their training. The director of the center, Mr. Hamad Ali Ibrahim, has welcomed the motivation of young people as well as their investment to complete with success the training.
It is with a great sadness that we have learned the death of Mr. Musa Barkhadle, the father of our elect representative, Mr. Abdurrahman, Vice President, and Ms. Khadija, Member of the General Assembly, the President of the Office, the Member of the General Assembly, as well as the Secretary General and the staff of the Chamber of Commerce of Djibouti and General Stores, addressed to the family of the late Musa Barkhadle their most sincere condolences. May Allah welcome him in his eternal paradise. Inna Allah wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
And now on the continental and international scene, in Africa, the World Health Organization has declared the end of Ebola outbreak in Guinea. 2 years after the epidemic began there, Guineans are expected to celebrate the landmark with concert and fireworks. Let's listen for details.
Nigeria remains only country still battling the disease after Sierra Leone was declared free of virus in November. Guinea has been declared Ebola-free after more than 2,500 people died from the virus in the West African nation, leaving Liberia the only country still counting down for an end to the ruinous epidemic. People in the capital Conakry on Tuesday greeted the declaration